Good morning, beautiful Daft family. Welcome, user 3170469949336. Welcome, Marilyn, to the live. We are still waiting for folks to come into the live. I'm hoping that they're getting the notifications that we have started. I've seen one person come in outside of my producer, so we'll give it a couple minutes here. But as we do, I just want to welcome you all in. We had a wonderful walk this morning. You are joining us. I probably forgot to tell you where you're joining us, what you're joining. You're joining Daily Affirmations for the Big Girl and All of Us. This is the talk after our walk, which indicates that we just got back from our morning walk. This morning we walked with purpose, not just to get our steps in, but to stay ready for whatever life throws our way. Day 56 reminded us that readiness is more than a mindset, it's a lifestyle. When family calls, and I don't know if you guys can hear me. There's a lot of traffic going through town right now. Of course, everybody's up and ready and already moving and getting ready for work. They're already on the road. Morning, times to living. Girl, it's been a day, honey. And I'm walking through spider webs here too. Golly, what in the world? I must be the spider whisperer. Ooh. Good morning, you're a cutie _lay. Good morning, user 814-217-98650. Good morning. If the environment looks a little different, that's because it is. I was just letting everybody know that I got. From lacing up our shoes with intention to showing up for ourselves before the chaos begins, today was about preparing in peace so we don't panic in pressure. And as always, we did it together. 1 mile, 1 message, 1 step closer to our best selves. Be sure to join us for the next Mile in My Shoes tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. What's up, good people? Good morning. This is Tamara, and you are watching Daily Affirmations for the Big Girl and All of Us. This is the talk after our walk, and you can tell by my environment that we're no longer in Kansas, Toto. No, we are no longer in Atlanta, so we're no longer in Atlanta, and I'm going to get into that in just a second, but I just want to welcome you guys to day 56. If you have been keeping up with the broadcast, if you've been keeping up with the live since we started back on June 1st, you'll know that we have been walking since June 3rd, which puts us 2 days off of what it would normally be. So we are at day 56. We have been walking consecutively for 56 whole days. You guys, this is movement and motivation and meaningful connection personified. I am here for it. I hope that you guys are too. And this morning's theme is when family calls. Please forgive me for shifting my eyes over. I'm having to look at my, having to use my phone today to make sure that I'm staying on time here. But at any rate, yeah, so today's theme is when family calls. And let me tell y'all, nothing shifts your plans faster than getting a call from someone that you love, letting you know that, hey, you need to come home. Thankfully, I'm happy to report that my the situation for which I had to come home has gotten much better. We're just playing it day by day. But you may see me in this new location for a couple of days yet. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Like I said in previous episodes, when things happen, when challenges arise, You have to find a way to pivot. You have to figure out how to make the best of the situation that you're in and, just deal with things as they come. And that is okay because that's life. That's life, right? Welcome, Steamy Snaps and Jazz. Is that Miss Jazz? I hope so. I've missed seeing you in here if it's you. But so anyway, that said, let me just get into kind of what happened. We just got back from our walk. It is Jazz. Hi. So happy to see you, Miss Jazz. We see some of the same people coming into the live each day, and so it always makes me feel good whenever I meet people, and then you guys keep coming back for more for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but thank you. I appreciate you very, very much, and happy to see that you are. Oh, thank you for the likes, Miss Jazz. I appreciate it, and thank you for responding. Thank you so much. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, I ask these prompts and things, and maybe people are at work. Maybe they just can't respond. I don't know what the situation is, but I have tried to give away swag, just for someone responding with the correct answer, and it's crickets, Miss Jazz. But maybe I'll ask another question today, and maybe you can get it. Maybe you can set the ball rolling. And maybe that's what the missing piece was. We were missing our Jazz. All right. Well, anyway, I digress. We just got back from our walk. We just did a mile. We do 2 lives every morning. The first live is a mile in my shoes, and I ended up walking. Let me check again, but I believe it's 4,000 something. Let's see. Let me just confer with my Fitbit here. 4,709 steps for a total of 1.93 miles. 1.93 miles, and you'll notice that that's quite a few more steps than what I would normally get when I'm at home. But when I'm at home in Atlanta, the terrain is so hilly. I know it may not seem like it so much whenever you're looking at it on the phone. Through the lens of the camera. But those hills, y'all, the hills are alive with the sounds of my groans and agonizing, because if you're just starting out and you try to walk those hills, imagine being on your treadmill and putting it up to the incline to 10 as soon as you get on it, and try to walk that, just coming back into a workout routine. It's brutal. It is brutal. But the terrain where I am now, I had to travel to North Carolina. In the terrain where I am now, it's pretty flat. So I'm able to get in more steps and able to walk my miles and stuff a lot faster than I would if I were back home. So that's another pro to being home. That's definitely another pro to being home. But at any rate, so the reason I'm here, I received a call actually while we were doing our live yesterday. I got a text message from my sister saying that my mom, whom I've explained to you all in the, if you haven't heard the podcast that we do, we have a podcast called The Morning After. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube as well. But I go into a lot more detail about some of the things that were going on in my life in 2024, the majority of which involved me, but more in my response to things that were happening with my mom and my dad. Both my mother and my father, just as a short recap, they got really, really ill, both of whom got deathly ill within 1 month of each other. So 2024 was very, very rough for me and for my younger sister. And I'm so thankful for my younger sister. I don't know if she's watching today or not. She claims she can't get up this early to watch anything, but I'm going to talk about her anyway. I love my sister. I love my family in general. We're all very close-knit family. Even my extended family, we're all very close. Yeah, 2024 was just really rough because I live in the Atlanta area. My sister is here in North Carolina. So the bulk of everything that was going on fell to my sister. Now, my sister is 2 years younger than I am, but she's a proud mother to two wonderful boys, and I stopped saying boys, young men, because one is in his 30s, and the other is in his 20s, so they're not boys anymore, but they'll always be my boys. I don't have children, so I have to live vicariously through her, but I digress. So she has this nurturing spirit about her, and she steps up to the plate. She's very responsible. She should have probably been a doctor or a nurse or something, because she has that type of demeanor about her. And then she's also very no nonsense, where someone may say something out of the way to me. I'll let you make it a couple of times until you keep pushing me, and then I have to say something. But she is a very direct person. She's not mean, but she will let you know if you step on her foot. Hey, you stepped on my foot. Let's try not to do that again. Because if so, we're gonna have some problems. You step on my foot. I'm like, well, maybe they didn't see me. Maybe they just didn't know they stepped on my foot. So I give you the benefit of the doubt. And then you step on my foot again. It's like, and then I finally have to say something. But nevertheless, that is her personality. But it still gets extremely stressful when you are entering the role of the caregiver. And we are going to talk about this in my upcoming podcast. As a matter of fact, I am in the throes of editing that podcast now. But we talked to some other individuals who have had the experience of taking on the caregiving role. And what's unique for me at the age that I am, I just turned 51 back in June. But at this age, they have a new term, or I don't know how new the term is, but maybe it's new to me because I'm just stepping into this role. But there's a term, it's called the sandwich generation. And that's for people who are about my age, maybe a little younger, who are about my age, that are taking care of their own families. Sorry about that. Who are taking care of their own families, and then they're also taking care of aging parents. And it weighs really heavy on you. So 2024 for me was extremely difficult because I was having to travel back and forth from the Atlanta area to North Carolina. So that's a 6-hour drive. I have my own business. You can't see it on this because it's like monochromatic, but my logo's there. Be Positive Productions, Multimedia Studios. My website's down at the bottom if you guys need creative services. But I have a lot of stuff going on. I have a lot of stuff going on in my own personal household. And then coming to North Carolina, making that drive, I'm not as young as I used to be. And the reason I know that is because as a younger woman, when I lived in Atlanta, the first stint, I remember not being in a job that would allow me to take off, So the only time I had to come home was the weekends. So at 23, 24, I would jump in, I would come out of work. I would leave work at 5 o'clock. I'd already have my bag packed and ready to go. And then I would jump in the car and then drive the 6 hours, get home about 11. Somewhere in there, one of my friends has called and said, hey, we're going to go out tonight. Do you want to go? Yeah, I'm almost home. Let me get myself together. So then I would come home, say hello to my folks, go shower, get ready, and then we hit the club, and then stay out till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, come back home, and then get up the next day, carry on with my day, and then drive back on that Sunday. I'd stay home as long as I could during the weekend and then drive back home on that Sunday and be up ready for work the next day. Well, it's not like that for me anymore. At 51, I have to plan out very strategically how I'm planning to drive because I don't like to drive at night anymore. It's very difficult for me to see. I'm just going to put it out there. It's difficult for me to see at night, the lights and stuff blinding you, and the music's too loud, turn down. Yeah, so I've gotten to that age where I'm just like, I got to travel like early in the morning. If I don't travel early in the morning and the sun starts setting on me, I am through dealing, y'all. My body just goes, okay, sun's going down, it's time to go to sleep. And I'm ready to go to bed. Miss Jazz says, I own a home health care agency. I am very familiar. I just lost my sister to cancer in 2023. Jazz, again, I am so sorry to hear about your sister, but thank you so much for sharing with us. And so owning the home health care agency, Are you interacting with people of all ages? Or are you, is there like a specific demographic of people that you are talking to? Is that on my end? That's got to be on my end, right? Because can you guys hear the sirens and stuff going on in the background? You guys, a different environment. We got different challenges and stuff facing us and stuff. The elderly. Okay, so Miss Jazz, you understand how difficult the balance is then, because everything that you do, no matter what happens, the thing that I've noticed is, the thing that I've noticed the most is that, when you are working with older adults, especially when the older adults are your parents, people see you a certain way. Maybe this doesn't apply to you as much, because you're not working with your parents, but your parents are always going to see you as their child, and then you always see your parents as your parents, and then when you have to step into that role of caregiver, it is the weirdest thing, because you want what's best for them, and then you find yourself talking to them a different way, and it's like, wait a minute, no matter what happens, they're still your parents. You can only, go so far, I'm saying this in love. But it's a really tough place to be. It's a really tough place to be. Jazz says, definitely, and I see that every day. Yeah, so kudos to you, Jazz. I appreciate what you do, because this whole experience has just given me a brand new outlook on caregivers in general. And then, like, spending time in the hospitals, I knew nurses and doctors had a really difficult, they have a really difficult job to do. But when you are at the hospital 24/7 and you see what the nurses actually do, they're, coming in and they're catering to the needs of the patients and stuff, especially when you get really good nurses and stuff. You guys, when you get a really good caregiver, you all really, really, really need to say thank you. It is a thankless job. I've seen them attend to some stuff I wouldn't even want to have to do, but they do it day in and day out, and they do it because it's their job, and most of them do it because they have a love for people and wanting to help out. Before the family gets to me, they have already started helping with care. Okay. So it's a really difficult thing. It's a great thing, though, to have family step in. It's a really, really wonderful thing to have family step in and to have that support network. But unfortunately, some people don't have that. Some people, my bestie, she's my producer, but I know that she and I've had conversations and stuff too, where she had gone through something very similar with her mother. And it was just her, and her mom wanted her to be there with her, but she was trying to manage her family. She had young kids still in school, and then she had to go to work, and she was trying to be a wife and trying to take care of her mom's needs, and it just gets really heavy. So I said all that to say that when my sister texted me yesterday during my live, if you were perceptive enough, you probably saw me look over at my phone and my expression change, because as soon as you start a text message saying, "Hey, I need you to come home, mama, ... it doesn't even matter what else comes after that, or, hey, I need you to come home, daddy, whatever. I have not seen the, I haven't seen anything else you've said. I see, I need you to come home, mama, and then I'm out, and that's what happened yesterday. So yesterday, following the live, I started packing. I started getting all my stuff together, getting all my gear and things together so that I could continue doing the lives and bringing you all, hopefully what I hope and pray that what I'm saying and the things that I share with you all, that you guys find some sort of value in it. I'm not the type of person that likes to divulge a whole lot of information and stuff, although it seems contrary to what I'm saying right now. But I'm a very, very private person, just overall and in general. So for me to come and do these lives and for you guys to show up each day, that just speaks volumes to how comfortable you guys make me feel and how we are building this safe space. And I want you guys to know that this safe space doesn't just apply to me; it extends to you as well. So I'm glad to see Jazz. Thank you so much for just replying to me and responding to me and giving me that bit of communication and stuff back and forth. Because number one, it tells me somebody's listening, and number two, it shows me that this is a good platform, you guys. This is a great platform for us to share, to share best practices, to share experiences and stuff, because you never know what people are going through, and something that you share with them may actually help them through whatever that is. So thank you, Jazz. I appreciate you very, very much. I know if Marilyn says, I do understand it can be very hard. Let me see if I can catch up in these comments here. So Jazz says, I will have to share my story with you. Please do. Maybe I can interview you at some point in time whenever you get comfortable. And if it's not on this platform, Jazz, maybe I can invite you onto the podcast where it's just me, you, and a couple of my DAFT cohorts, and we'll just feature you on one of those podcasts. So if Jazz agrees to that, you guys have something very, very special to look forward to. If not, then it's fine. We can do it however you want to do it, whatever is more comfortable for you. Marilyn says, I do understand it can be very hard. So Marilyn, I'd started sharing a little bit of this story in your interaction with your mom as she was going through her health challenges and stuff. But that's your story to tell. So I just wanted to cut it off there. If you feel impressed to share that with us, please put that in the chat, and I'm sure we'd appreciate that. In the meantime, good morning, Amar Heatham. Good morning, Natty. Good morning, Billy Roach. Welcome to anybody else that I may have neglected to shout out. I am so sorry about that. It is not my custom. My custom is to shout you out. When I see you come in, I'm going to shout you out because I appreciate you being here. All right. So, so that is why I'm here. That is why you see the different background. That's why I'm not in my home studio. That is why you may see me here for the next couple of days. I need some water. Dog, I miss my producer. Dog, I miss my Rise coffee. I don't have any here, you guys. I don't have any here, you guys. So you get the sleepy version of me today, but it's all good. It is all good. So let's see. I am trying to stay on task here. I don't want to take us over too far, and I don't want to deviate too far away from what we were talking about, but the theme for today is when family calls. We have to do what we have to do. We have to do what we have to do, but it's in those moments that you realize you need a support system. Because, being everything for everyone leaves no room for you. And, oh boy, can I just tell you guys that I'm so thankful, like I said, in being able to, first of all, I'm thankful for my parents. I'm thankful that I still have them with me. There are some who've joined us. There are some that I know who don't have the benefit of being able to say that. And so I'm very blessed to still have both my parents here with me. So if they call, they need something, and it's in my power to do, I'm going to drop everything. We'll figure everything else out as it comes, but I want to be there for them. Welcome, Dog 22 and Claudia. Welcome to the live. But in saying that, you have to carve out time for you, which is why the walks that we do in the morning are so crucial for me. When we were in the midst of my both my mom and my dad's illnesses last year, my dad ended up having to have quadruple bypass surgery, and then he had a valve repair. I believe aorta. He had to have his aorta repaired. So they had him on oxygen for a little bit, and he felt fine. We didn't even know that he had blockages as bad as they were until he went to just a routine doctor's visit. But he suffers with COPD and has suffered with COPD for years. And so the shortness of breath, that might have signaled that something was wrong to someone who doesn't have that issue. It was just a normal day for him. So we didn't realize. I'll have a cup of Rise coffee for you. Thank you so much, Marilyn. You're so kind. Oh man, you see how your besties will rub that in your face too? I'll have a cup of Rise coffee for you. I bet you will. But yeah, so my dad went through his surgery. He came through the surgery with flying colors. As a matter of fact, he did so well following the surgery that he ate the very next day. And the doctors and the nurses were coming in. They were marveling because they were like, most people, when they have the surgery, they are not in the mood to eat. They need to eat, but they don't want to eat anything. My dad cleaned his plate and stuff, and he was like, listen, he's career military, so his mindset is you just have to do what you're supposed to do, period. You might not want to do it, you may not like it, but if it's necessary and you have to do whatever to get better, you do whatever it takes to get better. And that is his mindset. And I love that about my dad. If you encounter a roadblock, you encounter a problem, he just says, well, you going to cry about it? He taught us not to cry. I don't know if that was necessarily great. But the point of all of that is if you encounter a roadblock, if you encounter an obstacle in your way, don't give up. Don't cry about it. Figure another way around it. There's always another way. And so he's always instilled that in us, that if you run up against something that you don't know how to do or whatever, just make sure you find another way. There's always something else you can do. So that was my dad's thing. And then my mom, I was here in North Carolina for about 3 months with my dad, trying to help him to recover and recuperate. Finally got him to the point where he was kind of self-sufficient and didn't need me or my sister in the way that he did when he first came home from the hospital. And so I left and went back home to Atlanta. I kid you not, 3 weeks later, I get a call from my sister saying, hey, we have to rush Mama to the hospital. What is happening? So she was keeping me in the loop as to what was going on. So I'll give you the condensed version. She ended up having to stay in the hospital. She was in a regional hospital. They couldn't do anything for her, but rather than let us know that while she was still strong enough to be transported, they just let her sit there. And the tipping point came when my sister went to check on my mom, because she would come to the hospital every single morning. But because of the way the hospital was set up, she wasn't in a room, so there was nowhere for my sister to stay. So she was having to travel in excess of 30 miles one way, to come back and forth to see my mom. She went to the hospital that particular morning, and they had wheeled my mother out of the emergency, the little room or whatever, and had her sitting out in the hall. Had her sitting out in the hall on a stretcher. And they couldn't do the test or anything, so she just kept getting progressively worse. And she developed jaundice. Her eyes were like the color of the yellow band going across my screen. Her skin was yellow. Her eyes were yellow. It was crazy, y'all. And so we finally got her squared away. She ended up, her gallbladder was inflamed. They took her gallbladder. She came home. We thought everything was good. And then a day or so after she came home, she got septic. She was running a huge fever. Got her to the main hospital, which is where she probably should have gone initially, because they could do the test and everything they needed to do. But the test came back that she had developed lymphoma. So when I tell you 2024 for me and for my sister, for my mom, my dad, and my family, it was rough. It was rough, y'all. I'm not, being hyperbolic or anything. It was rough. And so trying to figure out how to navigate this new world was challenging, because again, you're talking about, caring for your parent. You're not talking about caring for another person, that doesn't know you, because that comes with its own challenges. But trying to do that for a parent and trying to let them, maintain their independence and their dignity and stuff without coming across like you, I don't know. I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say other than to say that it was difficult. It was just very difficult. I totally understand it. I'm sorry you had to experience that. Yeah, I am too. But on the other hand, Jazz, I'm glad that I'm able to do it. And I'm glad that my sister is also able to do that as well. And I'm happy for my bestie. I'm happy for, my other friends and things too that have stood in the gap. I'm happy for you guys. Because again, going out walking every day by myself was very helpful. But it's also more motivating to me as well to know that you all are on the other end of that live, and I just came to appreciate the fact that every time I turn on my live, I start seeing some of the same people come in, when we start to build that camaraderie and stuff, and we start having these conversations and stuff. So, it's nice to know that exists. Welcome user 293850134387990. Welcome to the live. Welcome Yanni Yang. Welcome to anybody else that's come into the live while I have been on my soapbox pontificating about life and such. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. If you're just coming in for the live, this again is Daily Affirmations for the Big Girl and All of Us. You are joining us for the talk after our walk. We just finished our first mile together, which is what we typically do every day. We have 2 lives. And today's theme, of course, is when family calls. So I went all around the world and to come back to this point. Let's talk about it, family duty and feeling overwhelmed and what we can do, So when family calls, we rise, but we also need rest. That is one of the big things that I learned while going through the whole caregiving experience last year in 2024. I got so stressed out that I thought I was having a stroke. The reason being, I got in the car. I think this was after third, fourth time my mom had to be rushed to the hospital, and she was there. And I think I was leaving the facilities so that I could go. You know what? It may have happened before then. I think it may have happened while I was at my mom and dad's house. But anyway, I just remember being in the car, and I remember being in the car and then looking in front of me, and it looked like, how you get floaters in your eyes every once in a while, and it feels like a little squiggly line or something like that might be in your eyes, and it's aggravating, But this particular day, I looked off because I think I had to go to the store or something, or I may have been leaving the hospital to go to my sister's house. But anyway, I looked up, and it looked like specks of pepper, just like all over, and they were moving. Everything was moving at its own pace. And then I had some bigger floaters that were like blurry, and they were floating across my eyes. And then I had stuff coming up. I was like, oh my gosh, am I having a stroke? Because I cannot see, because there's so much stuff happening all at one time. And I ended up going to the eye doctor, and I know that I had been diagnosed with diabetes. I was borderline diabetic, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I about to stroke out or something? Went to the eye doctor. The eye doctor said she could see all of the floaters and stuff, and then she asked me a series of questions. She asked me, she thought maybe I might have had a torn retina or something, but because it was happening in both eyes, it wouldn't have. If you had a torn retina, it wouldn't happen that way. So she asked me if I was stressed. I told her what was happening. She was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that might do it, because then I was also not resting well because I was sleeping on the couch. You can't see it right now, and I'm not going to show you because I have all my bags and stuff on it, but that is typically where I end up having to sleep while I'm here. I'm happy not to be on the floor, but it's definitely not my bed. It's not my environment. It's not what I'm accustomed to. So I wasn't sleeping well. Then to couple that on top of everything else, while I was here in 2024, I ended up catching COVID. Everybody in the house ended up getting COVID. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Then I was dealing with menopause. And, menopause, for those of you that are my age group, you know that with menopause also comes the insomnia and then the stress, and then you can't lose the weight because of the stress and all. It was the perfect storm. If you can imagine all these like 10 different storms converging into one, and that is what I was dealing with. And so, yes, when you are caring for a loved one and when family calls, you want to be there for people for sure, but you have to make sure you carve out time for yourself, even if it's just going out for that walk. Do that mile in your morning with us. Get up at 6:30 in the morning, go, and then come back so that way you have time to attend to your loved ones, but you've still given yourself enough time to heal, to rest, and to do all of the things that are necessary for you to be okay. So what if you don't have the support to move things around? What do you do? What do you do if you don't have the type of job that allows you to, if you don't have the type of job that allows you to take off? People are understanding to a point. I'm very blessed, and I think that when I made the decision to go out on my own and to start the business and to do the things that I was doing for other people, for myself, and granted, I still have clients and stuff, so I'm still doing work for other people, but I mean, I'm doing it under my own, company, and it comes with its own set of challenges, but it gives me the leeway to work from wherever I want to work, so I can work remotely from my parents' home. I can be at home. I can be in a hotel. I can be wherever, and that works out for me. But what do you do when you don't have that type of an environment? Marilyn, maybe you can speak to this, because I know that you kind of ran up against that challenge whenever you were helping your mom. You had the type of job that required you to be on site, and there were only so many sick days you could take. There were only so many, times you could say, hey, listen, I got, this going on and stuff, and people are understanding, but people want what they want when they want it. And if you're not there to give it to them, then we all know how that goes. So that's just a prompt for you guys. Let me know what you do when you don't have the support to move things around. How's your health? How's you have to take into consideration how your personal health is and how your mental health is holding up in crisis mode. Let's see. Jazz says, that's one of the reasons I opened my business, because working in the hospital before, they didn't care. Oh man. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I wonder sometimes too, Jazz, if that's because there are so few people to do the work of so many, and I had a sick daughter. Okay. But then that also goes to, if you have a good support system of people that can advocate on your behalf, thankfully your daughter has you so that you can advocate on her behalf. I don't know how old your daughter is, but if she's a young person, they don't know how to advocate for themselves necessarily, not in the way that they need to, not in that type of an environment. So you need people like that around you. So if you have a support system that allows you to bring somebody else in to help you, accept the help. You can't do it all by yourself. And if you try to do it all by yourself, at some point, sometime in that whole exchange, it's not gonna, there's only so much stress you can accept. Let's face it, So please take stock of your mental and your physical health. Welcome, Blue Sky. Welcome, Jack. Welcome. I don't know how to say your name, but welcome. Welcome, Pounds. Marilyn says, my job was pretty understanding until they weren't. After my mother passed, my job fired me. That is messed up. That is really messed up. But the long and the short of it is, you guys, that is something that could happen. And so again, I know how blessed I am to be in the position that I'm in. And then it just happened. Um, again, I don't know what anybody's relationship is with the Lord, but as for me, I don't believe in coincidences. And I really believe that God, I started feeling compelled to leave my job and start my own thing the year before all of this stuff started happening. And again, I look back, as you get older, we have the luxury of hindsight. You can look back on things as they've happened, and then you can say, oh my gosh, that's why this happened, and that's why I wasn't able to do this, and that's why, oh, I'm so glad that, things worked out the way they did. But I believe that the Lord already knew that this was going to happen. And so he started laying on my heart to, hey, now's the time for you to go ahead and establish your business. Because honestly, my job probably would have allowed me to work from home, but it would have still been, hey, when are you coming back? You're going to be able to, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm just really, really thankful. Jazz says, if you have a job and have a sick family member, definitely use FMLA if you qualify. Agreed. Thank you so much for that, Jazz, because I don't know if some people even know that that's an option for them. I don't know. But if that is an option for you, that's a very good point, Jazz. Thank you so much for bringing that up. If that is something that you can implement, please do. Please do, because in that way you can secure your position, and you don't have to. At least that's one less thing that you have to worry about, because you're still going to get paid, and you still have the assurance that your job will be there waiting for you when you come back. And it's really sad. It's really sad that we have devolved into a society that cares more about, productivity than it does the people that help you to be productive. Because it seems like a no-brainer that if you keep your people healthy, if you do right by the people that are working with you, that just makes people even more loyal to what it is you're doing, because people recognize you didn't have to do that for me, but you did. And so, whatever you need, whatever I can do to help you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve, I'm there for you, So I don't know. But anyway, welcome Tony D, welcome Marvin SM, welcome at Killing KD. Yeah, so if you guys want more information on FMLA, I'm not the right person to talk to either, Jazz. But what we can do is I'm going to have a couple of doctors come on, a couple of friends of mine. They'll be on my podcast, the next few podcasts coming up. So we'll definitely make sure that we ask those questions of them, and see if we can't get some answers for you all, and then we'll have all the answers we need. But anyway, welcome, Dan, Ina. You guys, the hour has flown by. We're almost at the end of our time, but there are a couple of other things I wanted to talk about. What kind of structures can we build so that we're not always scrambling? What do you guys think we can do? Because the only thing that we can expect to happen is the unexpected. Because life be lifing. Life be lifing, and life does not play fair. It is not a respecter of persons. It doesn't care how many degrees you have behind your letters you have behind your name. Doesn't care how many degrees you've amassed. When life happens, we all have to, on a human level, we all have to deal with the situations as they arise. There's just no getting around it. But what can make the difference is our response to the things that are going on. So put in the chat if you've ever really thought about it. What kind of structures can we build so that we're not always scrambling? Jazz raised a really good point. If you have access to FMLA, maybe go to your human resources person and ask them about that. Ask them, what options are available for me. I'm going through this situation. And because when I tell you, it is extremely, extremely stressful, number one, trying to caregive for your loved ones, trying to serve in that capacity for all the reasons that I just mentioned. But it's also a whole other level of stress when now you have to try to figure out how to pay your rent and keep your lights and stuff on while you're trying to help somebody else. That is, that's a difficult one, y'all. My recommendation is to reach out to your HR department at your job to assist you with FMLA. Marilyn, you and I, we don't share a brain, obviously, but we have been around each other for a really long time. Good morning, at K. Good morning, good morning. So let's see. Have you ever had to drop everything for family? And if so, how did you handle it? You can put that in the chat for me. And I mean, we've kind of been talking about this as we've gone. So I appreciate you guys for the conversation this morning. This has just raised my spirit so much. You guys have no idea. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come before you and to talk about some of the things that are happening in my world, to help me make sense of things and to help me vent some of those frustrations and things. It's hard, you guys. I have a good support system. I have a great support system, and I wouldn't change anything for the world, but there's some of us who don't. Some of us, we don't have accountability partners that will walk with us. We don't have anybody that will work out with us. We don't have anybody that we can call on. But, however we can help, we have committed to helping. That's why we go out and we walk every morning. This is the second live that we do each morning. This is the talk after the walk. So we try to spend the first hour of every morning. With you all for that very reason. And that is why daily affirmations for the big girl and all of us exist. It started out, of course, with my journal writings and things that were happening, and I didn't understand why they were happening. But then it has just grown into this community that continues to grow each and every day. So I guess we need to kind of transition into something else real quick. Apple a day challenge. You guys, we're nearing the end of July, and for the full month of July, I have committed to eating an apple a day to test the theory as to whether or not that actually keeps the doctor away. So far, I can report to you that I have not gone back to the doctor to see if my numbers have gone down. So I will let you all know, because I'm going to continue to eat an apple a day even beyond July, and just to see if it's in fact doing anything with my A1C numbers and all that kind of stuff. And I will definitely let you guys know. But if you want to participate in the Apple a Day Challenge, you still have a couple of days to do that. And you have a couple of days to go ahead and initiate a brand new practice and a brand new health initiative in your wellness walk. And that is to eat an apple every single day. Post your picture eating that apple, and then tag me at Tamara1874. Thank you to my producer for putting the information in the chat. But you'll also notice that you put hashtag Apple Shamer. So you want to make sure that you put all of that information into your post so that I know that you're actually participating. Because to the person who has amassed the most points, it works on a point system. So that's what I'm saying. Even though it's at the end of July, you could still potentially win an Apple prize pack. And I'm not saying Apple as in the company, you guys. I'm saying Apple as in literal apple. Literal apple. You can win an Apple a Day Challenge prize pack from our Apple Patch. And among other things, we do have patches, which I would normally show you if I were in my studio, but I don't have access to that. We have t-shirts, we have hats, we have tumblers, we have a whole host of things that you can actually win. So I'm excited for you guys to get some Apple Shamer stuff. But if competitions are not your thing, I get it. If you just would rather support and, purchase your own daily affirmations for the big girl and all of us stuff, or custom t-shirts and that kind of thing, you can get that merch at my e-commerce store, which you'll also see over in the comment section. It's bandybox.store. That's B as in boy, AND as in dog, Y, box.store. That's bandybox.store. Head over there as soon as we finish this live and check out some of the stuff that we already have in the store. We're adding to the store daily, so there will be things that will change, and of course there will be things that are seasonal as well. And then if you need creative services, please make sure you go out to my website. That's www.bposproductions.com. You can see that website listed at the bottom of the screen. And also, I would be remiss without mentioning that if you look at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice that there is a progress bar. Right now, it's showing that we have 1,365 followers on TikTok out of 100,000. Now, the 100,000 goal that we have is actually for our goal that we have for our YouTube channel. So that's daily affirmations for the big girl and all of us. If you're not already subscribed, please consider going out to YouTube and subscribing. We will have some amazing things coming up for those of you that are subscribed. We're still in the process of trying to work through exactly how we want the subscription model to work. But in the meantime, if you could help us to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers by or before the end of the year, that would be amazing. I know it's a pretty tall order. I know that it seems unattainable, but it's not if we all pull together and you guys help me by reaching out to at least one of your friends. Share the lives, share the links to our podcasts and web series, and we have a book that's forthcoming, an adult coloring book. I mean, we got a lot of stuff happening, a lot of good stuff going on, and I want you guys to be a part of it. And you can say, hey, I remember when she talked about this, and then when you actually see it, it's an amazing feeling. And to know that you were a part of it from the ground up, wouldn't that make you feel great? Wouldn't that make you feel great to know, hey, she hit 1 million subscribers and I was one of the first to help her reach that goal. So anyway, and then what you can do too, none of the things that I'm asking you to do come with any type of fee. So make sure that you're doing things like double tapping your screen during the live. If you double tap the screen during your live, check out what happens. You send us hearts, you send us likes, and then that feeds the algorithm, and the algorithm then says, hey, people like this live, let's show it to more people. And that's also how we can achieve our goals. So if you would be so kind as to do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for Teresa Bradford coming in, EVIL, Bingus, who else? That's all I see in here. So Marilyn, thank you very much for welcoming people into the live, because you can see people that I can't apparently. So finally, before we get ready to go, here's your affirmation. Let's carry this into our week. Let's think about these types of things as we go throughout our day. I am prepared, not perfect. I rise with grace. When life shifts unexpectedly, I give love, but I also give myself room to rest. I'll read that one more time because I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in the background here. You might not be able to hear me. The affirmation for today is, I am prepared, not perfect. I am prepared, not perfect. I rise with grace when life shifts unexpectedly. I give love, but I also give myself room to rest. You guys, please make sure that you are keeping that front and center as you go throughout your day, particularly those of you that are in that caregiving role. Jazz, thank you so much for the interaction today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad to see you in the live today. Thank you to Marilyn for your participation and for keeping me on track, ma'am. for making sure that I'm doing what I need to do. This is the first day of the new week. Let's think about what things we want to do and what things we want to be intentional about this week. You have a brand new work week that has yet to get started. As you can hear in the background, I think my mom's ready to get started with her day, and I think I'm impeding in her process as she's she's in the background doing what she does, and it's all good. But at any rate, please make sure that you follow us. And make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you subscribe to Daily Affirmations for the Big Girl and all of us. Share this live with someone who might be navigating family obligations, responsibilities. Jazz, leave your if you have a website address or something that you can leave for us to follow your business, please feel free to put that in the comment section. We want to support you any way we can. I don't know where you're writing in from, so if you want to, just put your website address there, because I'm sure your website will show us, where your facility is. And if anybody is in that area, anybody in need of Jazz's services, please make sure that you reach out to her and DM her. Let's see. Is there anything else that I need to say to you guys? I think we've said pretty much everything we need to say. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the banter back and forth. I just appreciate you all, period. Thank you all for your patience with me, especially this week, as I am not in my own studio environment. So if you guys can forgive me for anything that happens outside the ordinary rule, just try to pivot and make the best of the situation. But anyway, listen, I gotta go. I gotta go. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Love you. Take care. Ta-ta and bye.